welcome to the Private Sneakers Podcast. This is our first episode, so we're just going to be bringing on friends of the store like Randy to just like tell us their stories in the sneaker culture, how it was back then versus now, and even if people that lived it back then, you know, they can have the nostalgia feeling just to bring it back. So Randy, if you want to give a little introduction of yourself.
Yeah, what up, everybody? My name is Randy. Born and raised in Los Angeles. I've been in the sneaker culture for, I would say, about a little bit over 20 years or so. So, yeah, with that being said, I appreciate Private having me out here as the first guest.
Definitely.
First of many.
Yeah, there you go.
Who do you want to introduce yourself so, you know, everyone just knows who we are, you know?
Cool. So my name's Jonathan. I am the district manager for Private Sneakers. I've been with this company for about 5 years now. Loving it.
Yeah. And I'm Nathan. I do social media warehousing for us, and I wanted to start this really badly, so that's what we're doing today.
Yo, Nathan, how many locations of Private Sneakers do you guys currently have?
So at the moment, we have 5. So we have 2 in Long Beach, 1 right here, the one that we're shooting at. And then we also have our warehouse that takes care of our online business. We have San Pedro, Anaheim, and as well as Fullerton. We're hoping for more. It'll come soon enough, but, you know.
I'm sure it'll come.
Eventually we'll get there.
We'll get there, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Randy, you know, for me, I don't personally, like, know you too much because I'm younger and everything, but I've only heard stories about you.
Yeah.
And the only thing I can really know is that you're a big-time sneaker collector, and I want to get into it. So how did it all start off for you?
Honestly, it can't even, it all started pretty much through basketball, to be honest with you. Growing up and then high school, honestly, it started, I would say, like, in junior high. That's when I kind of, I went into buying sneakers, and it's crazy because when I was in junior high, I was always buying and one shoes. Which is crazy, yeah, and it's crazy because everybody's like, and one, yeah, but I used to go to Foot Action. I used to buy their apparel, their shirts, and all that. And then when I got to high school, and then I really got into like playing basketball for a team for my high school. Right. That's when it was like, all right, cool. You know, I was always going to different shops, trying to see what shoes coming out, next or whatever. And then, or even I would try to get them ahead of time. So I was going to Sloss and Swami, buying shoes from there because they usually sell them before they release. And it's like a lot of people that were like born and raised in California, they're like, Sloss and Swami, like, don't know, like that was a spot to go to. Yeah. And it's crazy. Awesome. So I would, that's what pretty much started my passion for shoes, like just playing basketball every week. I have a twin brother, right. And we were both starters on the basketball team, and we always wanted to have like the newest shoes or like the shoes that are coming out in like, X, Y, like in a month or so. So everybody was like, so every month, every week we were always buying different shoes. And then next thing you know, it was like the boxes just kept piling and piling and piling. And then everybody's like, it just became, it was just something that came along, and next thing you know, I had over 100 pairs of shoes. And I was like, dude, and I was playing different shoes every week. And then pretty much that built it up for me, like to start collecting. Then honestly, once I started getting more involved into like going to sneaker events, because back in the days, Nike would have events at Nike Towns, and then I started showing up to these events wearing sneakers, and I was like, I kind of wanted to set myself apart from everybody else, and I was like, well, I'm wearing Concord 11s or whatever, and then you see 20 people wearing Concord 11s, and it was just like, all right, let me try to set myself apart. And I'm a size 9, so samples come in a size 9. So I did a little research. Lucky. I went online. I bought 1 pair, and I was like, cool, nobody has this. All right. Then I started wearing it. Everybody was like, oh, how'd you get that? It's not out. And
right. So touch base on that. How did you get your hands on certain things? How'd you know what shoe was about to come out, what date? Stuff like that.
So yeah, so back in the days, obviously you didn't have social media, you didn't have any of this stuff. You have to go on, Foot Action, sign up, you get or whatever it was, and you get the East Bay magazine in the mail, and you have to browse through it, like, it wasn't like as easy as it is right now, to see what's coming out. Even back then, like we used to have forums, and it was, you had Soul Collector, you had Nike Talk, you had all these forums, and it like everything nowadays is so much easier, because back then you had to have an actual camera, because you couldn't shoot from your phone because your phone wasn't,
Right.
You had to have an actual camera, take the picture, go to your computer, take the SD card out, get a photo bucket, get the URL, and it wasn't
Throw
like
the
it was just so
bucket,
many
huh?
process. Yeah, it was such a big process back in the days to post stuff online. Now you can just grab your phone, take a picture, and boom, it's
Upload it.
online.
It's available.
It's online. Yeah, but yeah. So like I said, back to how it all started. Just I kind of want to set myself apart, going to these events. I met a lot of people. I met a lot of people. That worked at Nike or were athletes or
Oh, I see.
whatever, and yeah, that's how I pretty much started with the samples and everything. And I got a good amount of samples. That's like, I mean, people would be surprised that I still have. Everybody, always presses me, like says like, yo, why don't you sell them? They're gonna fall apart. But I don't think people understand that. For me, it's not about the money. It's more about the passion I have for what I have.
Ooh,
You know what I
we're
mean?
gonna have to emphasize that on the video.
Yeah,
No.
it's more about the passion and like, yeah, I get it. People, people throw numbers at me, and I'm like, I'm
Yes.
thankful that I'm not in the position where I need the money.
Right,
You know what I mean?
It's bigger
It's
than
more
that.
of a, yeah, it's more of a passion for me. And that's why I continue to buy stuff. Like, I brought a couple things to show you guys, and a couple older things, a couple newer things.
I'm kind of interested on this story right here, this little box. We'll get to that.
On which one? This one?
Yeah.
So that's actually a pair that I won. Back in the day, Soul Collector had a competition. They were actually
Can we grab
yeah,
it?
grab. Yeah, and that was actually they had a competition. They were holding competitions in different cities, and it was an actual event held by Nike and Soul Collector. So it wasn't like somebody else was doing event. It was an actual, and every event, like they did like a special release for the event and the people that were attending the events. And so every city that they had the event in, which is like they had one in LA, they had one in Miami, they had one in Boston. And me being from LA, it's funny because I didn't even win the one from LA. I actually had to fly out to Boston and compete in Boston, and I won the one in Boston. And with that, then so what happened? Like each winner from each city, the finale was in Las Vegas. So everybody pretty much met, all the people that won in every city, like pretty much met in Vegas. Boom, and then that was the finale. So I showed up and with what I brought, it got me this shoe, and I've had it ever since. Like, I mean, it's been featured in the cover of Soul Collector, and it's like,
Have
I mean,
people
it's a
offered you
big-
money for this one right here?
Yeah, no, people have. Like, people always,
Big names?
yeah, big names and big numbers, but it's still like, and it's funny, like everybody thinks like they call it the entourage, but it has nothing to do with entourage. The same, my buddy, which is Mark Smith, he worked for Nike at the time, but he designed the shoe, and it looks similar to entourage, but it's really not. I mean, obviously the biggest thing is the gold on the entourage, and this one's orange, which everybody thinks is red, but it's orange. But yeah, no, but it has similar, details to it or whatnot and whatever. But this one says every city that the event was held in. I mean, it has the owner's name of Soul Collector that were at the time, and then it says grand finale. So this was gifted to me, and yeah, like people have been trying to buy this off me for a long time, and it's like I was telling you guys, the other day I was talking to one of my buddies, and he puts Fat Joe on the phone, and Fat Joe's like, I need that shoe, He's like, yo, I'll give you XYZ for it. And I'm like, no.
So
I was like,
you
I'm not looking to sell it.
This is like one of these shoes that you just will never get rid of.
Yeah, no. Yep, this is one that it's like, that'll probably just stay with me.
And do you
Taking
think
it to
it's
the
like
grave.
the most sentimental shoe to you? Like, let's say like out of your whole collection, if you could choose one the only one you could keep or whatever it is this the one you're going
It
with?
is because, you know what, like, and don't get me wrong, I think I did compete in LA, but I didn't win. And then I competed in Seattle, and I didn't win. And then, yeah, so it was like, I was doing a lot of traveling back then. Like, back in the days, I was going to all these events, which was cool, because it also, like, it honestly, it made me, going to all these events, like, got me to meet a lot of people that still work at Nike, I mean, and, and whatnot, and, I mean, they're bigger people now, and, to build those relationships now, it's kind of tough, I would say, because everybody's just after that free, like trying to get stuff, you know what I mean? So it's like, so I held a lot of relationships over the past, the last couple of years. I mean, I think the biggest one would be, being cool with Tinker Hatfield, which, I mean, I got you and your pops to meet, when you guys were out in Portland.
That was
and
unreal.
I think, and I was like, he's one of my good friends, and and yeah, but it's been a great journey, and it's like, you know, I'm gonna continue to do it, you know.
I was about to ask you too, like, you know, you've been collecting for years and everything, and are you still getting excited about like upcoming releases or anything, or do you feel like you got to the point where, because like even for me, like I consider myself a collector, you know, but I
Yeah.
barely started off. It's like, oh, I'm gonna chase this shoe next. I'm gonna go get this shoe next. Like this is the next one I want to get, right? Do you
Yeah.
still have that feeling, or it's kind of like, man, I kind of got everything I wanted?
Or is it too easy for you to get nowadays too?
No, it's
Because
not.
the chase is the part.
part of it,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, it's not. It's not easy for me to get, you know.
Okay.
But sometimes, you know, I still got to go out and I got to, you know, do what I can to try and get shoes. I still go on sneakers, even though I never win. But you know, I never hit on sneakers. But it's like I still go on sneakers. I still try, and if I don't get it, you know, I don't get angry about it, because I mean, honestly, you know, you can always go get them elsewhere or whatever. I mean, and before it was more of a like if I didn't get it, like, damn, like, where am I gonna go get it? You have to like go, you know. I mean, you had eBay, but now it's like, I mean, you can go different places or what, and then when I was younger, obviously, I wasn't in the position that I'm in now, where I can just say like, let me just go below $400 on a pair of shoes.
true.
Because back in the days when I was 14, 15, it was like, you know, that kind of money was ridiculous. Like when I was buying shoes back then, people were calling me crazy because they were like, you're paying $2,000 for an Undefeated 4. And it was like, but look at it now, you know.
No, yeah.
Now it was like, people are like, yo, that's crazy that you have that shoe. It's worth like XYZ of money. And I'm like, yeah, but, you know, I
No,
bought
I'm
it back
curious
then.
about that part. Like, because, you know, we all know that sneakers got to a point where it's like some of these shoes are worth thousands, you know?
Yeah.
And to you, you know, you were buying it before it was like anything for a lot of your collection, I believe, you know?
Yeah.
Like before it was like about the amount. It was just about the sneaker. Like, that's
Yeah.
what it was to you.
Yeah.
And, you know, people are like, oh, it's crazy that you're buying all these sneakers, but these sneakers hold so much value now. Like, does it matter to you in a sense? Or it's
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Like you said, like, I mean, some of these sneakers do have a lot of value, but I don't see it like that though. I don't see it like, oh my God, I got all this money sitting there. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, to me, it's like, I just enjoy sneakers. Like, I just genuinely like them, and you know, and it's crazy because a lot of people these days are after, they're trying to, you know, make that money, or they try to get something, like they'll buy something, post it online, next thing, like, just to get the clout, and then it's like they'll sell it. So it's like, basically it's like they just bought it to get a little bit of clout, and then they're selling it. You know what I mean?
So
Like
they
me,
keep it,
yeah. Me is like, everything I have is like 99% of the time I'll keep it, and it's
Yours.
just stuff that, yeah, like I just been. And like you said, everything here has kind of a story to, like with that one, you know, it was the process of getting it and how I won it.
Right.
And
How'd you
whatnot.
prepare yourself for that?
For
Like
this?
what shoes? I know you have a huge selection of
yeah, like the
on the bench.
strategy.
You know, just which ones
So
made
when
it?
I did the finale, it was crazy because I was like, I tried to set myself apart. I kind of had like an idea of what everybody was gonna bring. I didn't know what they were bringing, but I kind of had a feel like so. And then at the time, I was really good friends with
He probably bought Panda Dunks.
with my buddy at with my buddy at Nike, and yeah, but it was crazy. I was just like, yo, what can I do? I gotta set myself apart. I can't, like, so my table, when I had like one of the like craziest shoes that I had at that table was, honestly, and the one that won it for me was one shoe, and it was a LeBron Air Zoom Generation, the first one. So, and it was crazy because it was the Christmas Day LeBron that he wore when he was first in the league. So that never came out, and it was lasered edge too on the side and everything. Like, they only made less than 10 pairs, and I happened to have one of them at my table. So when even people from Nike were like, they were surprised how
They're
I
like,
had
"How
that
you
table.
get
They're like,
that?"
yo, like, that's crazy. Like, and everybody knew what that shoe was, but nobody had seen it outside of Nike. So once everybody saw it, everybody was like, yo, that's crazy that you have this shoe. I mean, I had that. I had a Kanye 180. I had I had a bunch of different things there. I had from Air Forces to, I mean, player exclusives. I had a Jordan 8 signed by Kobe Bryant. I had the Kanye 180, like I said. I had,
crazy.
you know, the Air Zoom Generation. I had Terror Squad Air Forces. You know, I had a bunch of stuff. And then obviously, like, for it, like, I prepared pretty well. And then, like, as time went by, I was like, I can't be buying size 12s. Like, I'm never gonna be able to wear them. So I mean, I kind of let go of that stuff, and then me and my brother, we just stuck to buying size 9. So back to your question when you said like, do you get excited about
stuff
like
today.
stuff that come out? Yeah, I get excited, but my thing is, I kind of like so when something's coming out, I look at what's coming out, and my next question in my head is like, what does it look? What does a sample look like? That's what I'm trying to find. Where's the sample?
We're all getting the regular one. He's getting the sample.
I said I'll get the regular one too, but I'm trying to see what the and it goes back to like the Almamaneer one. You had the Almamaneer one that came out, and I was like, damn. And I was like, well, I wonder what the sample looks like.
That's right here.
And it just happened to like land on me. It just came, and it's like, I was like, yo, this one's actually.
That one's good.
I like this one
came out,
a little bit better, than the
I'd
burgundy
chase
one.
that one.
But like this one was like, I mean, this is what I go for. Like this is what I buy. Like Khaled 5s came out. You know, you also saw he had like some that were like pairs that didn't come out for him. I mean that weren't retailed. So that's me. I'm in the hunt for like the ones that didn't come out. That's what I go for. But I mean, I still buy. I still buy tons of stuff that comes out. I'm not gonna stop buying because I need. Right. This is not stuff I wear every day either.
No, yeah, for sure. So that's what it is. It's like, we're looking at the lost and found. You're like, oh, did they make a lost and found sample or whatever?
Yep.
Something like that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's what I look for. I mean, and like I said, I still buy tons of stuff. Back to the sneakers. Like, I mean, this is another one too that's like means a lot to me.
I see the logo right there, Kobe.
Being born and raised in LA, with Kobe Bryant. Being a big fan of him. It was just, this is actually a Air Force One that they made for him. It's a player exclusive. It's a player exclusive, and they didn't make too many of them. Honestly, I don't know, probably like less than 50 pairs or whatever. But I was actually, when I met Kobe Bryant,
like how'd that happen?
Yeah. It's crazy how that happened because when the Kobe 2 dropped, like the Kobe 2 originally dropped, they did I want to say it was at the Montalban or something like that. It was right here off of, how was it? It was in Hollywood. They had Nike set up a Nike basketball thing, and you had to go buy the shoe. Like, you had to buy the Kobe 2. And then in some of the boxes, they put this card, like you would win.
Right.
And so that card got you to win, like, to meet Kobe. So I was like, it was me. It was like 6 of us. I told 6 of my buddies, like, let's go buy 6 pairs. And let's just hope we get one of the cards. And we got one of the cards.
Jeez.
And then it was cool because when, it entitled you to like, so they had a gym there in Hollywood, like a whole full court. And then they had everybody come out, whoever got the cards. And obviously they're like, here you go, you get what size you need. They'll give you the Kobe 2s to play in because that's what they were like promoting. Mm-hmm. And then next thing you know, they're like, all right, we're gonna run 5-on-5, right? And I was like, all right. And then Kobe came out like, yo, we're about to run a full court with Kobe right here.
Were you able to play with Kobe?
Yeah, so we were able, like, I was on the court with him. We was, whatever. And I was like, yo. And then I wore that shoe to the event. And then obviously they gave us the Kobe 2s to play in. Then I switched it back to that. And they're like, yo, you're gonna meet and greet with Kobe or whatever, And I was like, what? And then, so when I got to Kobe, I was just like, I was kind of starstruck because I was like, yo, it's damn Kobe Bryant,
No, for sure.
And he's like, what's up? He's like, I see you got my jersey, and I was like, yeah. He's like, you don't have anything else you want me to sign? And I was like, I didn't even know I could bring something for you to sign. I thought it was just like, hey, what's up? Take a picture and that's it. Right. He's like, nah, I got you. I was like, I got these P's. He's like, oh, word? He's like, yeah. He's like, he kind of knew what it was. And he's like, yeah, here, I'll sign it. Boom. And he's like, hey, get this guy a Kobe 2 on me. And he's like, and I'll sign it too. And he signed a pair of that and the jersey. And I was like, damn, okay. And then he's like, come on, let's take a picture. And I was like, all right, bet,
So was he kind of shocked, like, seeing that? Because I'm sure he didn't see one of those, like, the whole day, Like,
yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, that's why he was like, oh, yeah. He's like, okay. But he, what's funny is, like, he liked Air Forces a lot. They made a lot of Air Forces for him back in the days, which didn't come out. But he had a couple pairs made for him. So, like, he had an idea of what it was. But, yeah, it was, like, kind of like, everybody's always like, how'd you get that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
And it's all about, like, throughout the years, it's kind of been, like, who you know. But I also have other sneaker, collector friends that, will look out for me, like, hey, I got this. Do you want it? Like, yeah, I'll take it, and everything that
and no freebies, correct?
Huh?
You'd have to pay for majority of them?
Yeah, I would have to pay. It wasn't, it's not what the prices were nowadays, but but even back then, like, the prices that I was paying, everybody was like, yo, you're crazy for paying those prices. And I'm like, okay, whatever, you know. It was always like, you know, and then we would honestly spend a good amount of money on sneakers, and it was just, but obviously now they've gone, I mean,
Yeah,
obviously,
still
you know, it's
own 'em.
crazy nowadays,
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
good
but it's like,
condition.
but like I said, I don't see it that way, you know. Shoes to me are like, I have a passion for it, like, it's just stuff that, yeah, I just wouldn't let go. Obviously, and then I brought something else that, you know, I think a little, you know, more people would be more, kind of have an idea of what it is, but yeah, like the Jordan 4, this one, the Cactus Jack. So this is actually friends and family pair that they made for them, and you know,
check that out.
I don't know how many pairs were made, but
sounds
yeah, like it's,
crazy.
you know, it's stuff like that I, you know, I like to buy. You know, obviously that's
We
pretty
actually
cool.
released the blue ones in private, not friends and family. Yeah,
Oh,
we had
They
the blue
did have
ones.
the blue ones. Yeah.
You guys, you guys did?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
had those.
man, those are tough to get because that's when they were doing the whole thing in Houston, and everybody's like Jordan 4.
Right.
Everybody was trying to get them, and it was just chaos all over.
So I actually have a question for you too. It's like
Yeah.
we were kind of talking about it before, but like, how do you feel? You know, collectors is like still a thing, but you know, it's not as big as before. I feel like, at least, you know, because you know we have lines out here, and you know we just know like who's the resellers in a sense,
Yeah.
and we know the people who want to get them, but you know it's like they're always in the back of the line. You know, like because the resellers will go out of their way just to get the shoe, just to
get
make
the
that
front.
flip. You know.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about how it's changed from always being collectors in line to like, you know, you have the majority reseller in line now?
And I mean, I honestly, I wish it was like before. Where it was like, you know, you'd actually have like people that were really trying to get the sneaker to wear it, or if they want to collect it, and you know, and this goes out. I mean, honestly, it goes out to everybody. Like, you don't have to be a collector. You don't have to get this kind of stuff. I mean, because not, you know, it's like just buy whatever you like and
Right.
collect what you like, and yeah, like, I mean, I feel like the sneaker community now, it's like everybody's just after that money, you know. Everybody's
Right.
trying to make a dollar, you know. And
Well, times
and
have changed as well.
Yeah, no,
you know?
they have for sure. But it's like, but yeah, no, it's for sure like changed from what it was back in the days where like people were actually like buying stuff, holding it, wearing it. And
I feel like it all kind of depends on where you live as well. Like California is really high in price, you know, cost of living.
yeah,
So if people are gonna make that little extra buck in sneakers, I feel like they're gonna go for it,
they're gonna go try and get it.
try and get it. But see, the crazy part is that there's actually consumers who will pay them that price at
And
a resale.
that's why they're doing it.
Yeah.
That's why these resellers are like, yo, I'm gonna make a quick buck, and you know.
And working on the field here, I've noticed that a lot of people don't realize that that there's a retail price before resale.
Yeah.
They always think that we have the dunks for 300, 350, 400.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, man, you're paying $100, 110 here.
Yeah.
You got to stand in line. You got to do all this other
And
extra
you know,
stuff.
you know what's funny is people that I've talked to about you guys, they're like, is that a consignment shop? I'm like, no, they're retail.
Yeah.
That's retail. You go in there, everything's retail.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
and everybody always thinks like, you know, like they're like private sneakers. Is that?
They bring shoes. You guys buying right now? I'm like,
Yeah.
employees probably will buy, but
You guys
company
get
wise,
calls about that all day.
all
Huh?
the time.
What if people want to sell? So
They're
guys
like, you
shoot?
guys do buy, sell, trade? We're like,
What?
no, like we're retail, man.
Yeah, no,
Like, we
that's-
get it before they get it, you know? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
we're the
yeah.
ones who release it.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
that's wild. But yeah, like I said, man, everything, you know, just I'm just thankful that I was, you know, I had friends that like put me onto it too. Like everybody, we had a group back in the days that it was always all of us together. Back to like me, I mean, I have a twin brother, a couple friends, Caesar, Oscar, you know, Julio. Like I have a bunch of friends that I can name. That's like we would always like go camp out for shoes. You know, I remember being at Undefeated, camping out for the low Tiffany dunks. Nikki Diamond came out, like handing us like
that's
free
right.
promo shirts. Like, here guys, here, you know, just giving us stuff. Like, and it was cool. Like, I feel like the culture back in the days was more like,
So you were there when the iconic Tiffany Kid picture came out?
oh, that was at Supreme.
Oh, that was
that was at
oh, my
Supreme. No. But that's when I think that was at on Fairfax when the kid was
Oh,
walking.
yeah.
But you know what? I think I probably was there.
You
to
probably
be
were
honest
there.
with you. Yeah, because honestly, like it was a group of us, and like we'd go. You know, it was shoes were usually released on Saturday, and then my parents they'd go to church, and so it was like. It's crazy because it was like we'd go to church first on Fridays from like 7 to 10, and then my mom would be like, okay, you guys can go camp out. So it was like we always had, you know, and it was always like we were all kind of in the same group. So it was like right after church, like we'll just head on over, like whether it be Undefeated, L.A., Santa Monica, whether it be we're going to Stussy to camp out.
Right.
I remember camping out for like the Stussy, what is it, the Blazers they made,
Yeah.
or the Union 180s, you know, when they did the consortium pack or whatever it was called. You know,
So you were always like in that area.
Yeah,
That's where it was at, right?
Yeah, that's where it was at. It was always just being in that area. It was just, and not only that, but like getting to know new people, you know, camping out, and like, and that's how, like back then, like everybody would like know each other, because now it's like if there was a camp out, you know, what's everybody doing nowadays? On their phone?
Yeah.
What's
You're not
browsing?
talking with
Yeah,
each
back
other.
in the days, you had no choice but to bring your chair out, sit down, and you would literally conversate with everybody, talk smack, do whatever you wanted to do. Like, but you were interacting with everybody. So it's like, yeah, times have definitely changed.
Nowadays, a lot of us have a lot of the same shoes, and we call each other up like, "Hey, make sure you're not wearing those." Was it like that back in the days, or was it like some type of competition? Who had the best kicks for the crew?
It kind of was, but at the same time, it was like we kind of had an idea. Like, it was like, yo, well, back in the days too, we couldn't really like text each other, because I mean,
True.
if you had a phone, you were like,
Right.
you were kind of like up there, you know. So it was just kind of like, you had the Nokia phone, but to be pressing each number, you're like, damn, like you had to spell everything out by pressing each number. So it was just kind of like, so we just, it was just show up, and I mean, just hope that nobody was wearing
I
the
kind
same
of
thing that you were wearing.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
no,
kind of want to hear it from your side, because you know my dad and everything, and I hear a lot of stories. It's like back then it was about like wearing a shoe that you're not gonna see no one else wearing that day, you know.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like it's a lot different now, especially like with the Panda Dunk wave. Like, we'll see like 30 in here a day, whatever it is, you know.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but he was telling me it was always about like, like breaking necks, you know, like what the hell,
It
like he
was.
got that on, you
Yeah,
know?
no, that's
So like, how do you feel? You know, people don't even be doing that no more. Like, we need to bring that back.
Yeah, no, because you know, but it's more of a like, because people don't want to wear their stuff because they don't want to. I mean, I don't know.
Devalue it.
Yeah, exactly. They don't want to devalue it, you know. And it's just, but yeah, no, that's what it was back then. You go anywhere you go, you'd be like, damn, how do you get those? Or how you get those?
Yeah.
How
So
you get
was
those?
that big for you?
Yeah, it was.
It was
Because
like-
honestly, that's
Stepping out.
Yeah, so it was just kind of like, that's why I kind of got into this too, because I was like, yo, let me set myself apart, and you know, just try to break people's necks.
That makes a lot of sense.
And I was always bringing out stuff that nobody had. So everybody, I was like, and then it's funny because we used to have a group of friends, and we were always together. And I used to hate when they used to do this, but we'd go to City Walk every Friday.
Okay.
It was like a every Friday thing. Like same thing. We'd go to church, and then we'd go out after to watch a movie, whatever movie was coming out. I think I was like still young at the time,
Right.
like 16, 17. But we had a friend that was like older, so he would drive us there. But then it's like if one of us was wearing something that the other one like that was like, you know, exclusive or rare,
Right.
dude, they'll build a circle around us and they'll be like, yo, how'd you get those? At City Walk in the middle of nowhere. It was like, everybody was just staying like, oh, what are they doing?
Everyone's
What's
like,
going on?
What do you got on? What do you got on?
Yeah, exactly. And they used to do that all the time. And it was just like something that, and it was just funny to me that they would do that. And,
A little memory carry on, man.
Yeah, no, definitely.
sick.
No, I had a good time, you know, back in the days doing all this stuff. Obviously, I'm older now, you know, it's not what it was back then. You can just hang out with friends, you know, have a family and whatnot. So it's like, but I still enjoy it. I mean, I still go to stuff here and there, and I still like, you know, meeting
Yeah.
people or whatever. And another thing too, like, you know, when I started collecting, I was just playing basketball at the time. It's like I always told myself, like, yo, I want to meet 3 people. And I've said it before. And because of sneakers, I was able to meet those 3 people. Like, number 1 was, obviously I told you guys I met Kobe Bryant because of shoes.
Right.
Number 2, I met LeBron James. I met LeBron James in New York City. I was in New York City. It's funny because I met his cousin in San Francisco. Then I flew out to New York to a private event that Nike had. I saw his cousin there again. And then next thing you know, he's like, yo, we're at a party chilling, and LeBron shows up. Everybody's asking LeBron for pictures. Come on, let me get a picture, right?
Right.
And he was like, nah, like, I'm just trying to chill, you know? Like, I'm not trying to take no pictures, you know? I'm just chilling. And then his cousin, like, obviously we're there, and then his cousin's like, LeBron. He's like, come on. He's like, let's take a picture with the homies right here.
Right.
And he takes a picture with us, which I think, I still have.
Oh,
and
we
we're
need
at
that for the
yeah,
put it up there.
yeah, I'll send it to you. And it was kind of like, and everybody at the party was like, "What the like? Who are these guys?" Like they're
Right.
taking a picture with LeBron. And then right after that, everybody's like, again, everybody went up to him like, "Yo, let's take a picture." And he just kept saying no to everybody. But because his cousin was like, "Yo, take a picture with my guys," like we got a picture with him, and it was like, "All right, cool." And then he's like, "Yo, I got you guys tickets to go Madison Square Garden." So we went to go see LeBron versus the Knicks when he was with the
That's
Cavs, and we
dope.
saw that. And I was like, "That's pretty cool." He got his tickets. And then, so that was the second person I met. Third would be Michael Jordan. I met Michael Jordan. I actually hung out with MJ like 2 days in a row, and I was just like, this is wild. Like, this is crazy.
All
Like,
because of sneakers.
all because
That's
it's all
crazy.
because of sneakers. Like, because my buddy at Soul Collector, they had an event and they couldn't make it out here in like Tustin or something like that. So MJ, a lot of people don't know, but MJ used to have a motorcycle team, like a motorsport team.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, so he used to have a motorsport team, and that's why you see the motorsport 4s that came out.
Gotcha.
And like other stuff, he did other stuff. And so he literally had a motorsport team. I think now he has a NASCAR team, right?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, now he has a NASCAR team, but he used to have a motorsport. And then, so my buddies, they couldn't make it to the event, and they're like, "Hey, we got 2 tickets, box, suite, whatever." Me and my twin brother were like, "All right, let's roll. What's the worst?
Right.
Whatever." So we just drove out there. I walk in the booth. As soon as I walk in, MJ's right there. I'm like, "Oh damn, like MJ's really here." Like, I was just starstruck.
Right.
And I walk in. Me and my brother, keep in mind, me and my brother are wearing white Air Forces. MJ's like, "You guys come to my suite." He's like wearing Air Forces, right? So he kind of gave us like a look like, "Yeah, like don't do that." Like, he's like, "You guys got to be wearing Jordans if you guys are gonna be in here."
Did
So
you
then,
expect that? Like,
no, I didn't, because I mean, I didn't even expect him to be there. It was just kind of like
it just happened.
yeah, he just was there, and I was just like, and then like his motorsport like manager was there too. He's like, "Yeah, guys, don't do that." He's like, "You guys got
Don't do that.
You guys have to be wearing Jordans if you guys are gonna be in here." And I think at the time his wife was there and his kids were there, and I was just like, "Yo, like this is crazy." And then fast forward the second day, so then that went by. They took us down to like where they had all the stuff set up or whatnot, all the motorcycles, and then they were like, because I had to grab some pictures for the magazine actually, and then took some pictures, whatever, and then we ended up leaving the next day. I show up, and I think I was wearing the Undefeated 4,
Gotcha.
and then my brother was wearing the Eminem 4, right?
You guys
And he
came
was
out.
like, yeah. And he was like, "Okay." He's like, "I see you guys." He's like, "You guys," yeah, right? But he was like, but then when he saw like he saw the blue one, and then he saw the olive Undefeated one, he was like, "Wait, man." He's like, "Are those fake?" And I was like, "What?"
Oh,
And I was like, "Nah." And I had to give him a rundown, like, "Yo, like, no, this is a collab that Jordan Brand did with Undefeated."
So he didn't
And
even know.
He didn't even know about it at all. And I had to give him like, I was like, "Yo, no, like, this is an actual collaboration that you guys did." 2 seconds later, he's like on the phone talking to somebody at Jordan Brand, like, "This guy's wearing these olive shoes, says they're Undefeated shoes." He's like, "And I don't have them." He's like, "I need them by next week."
There's no
And
way.
I was like,
That's
"Yeah."
really dope.
And I was like, "Yo, that's crazy." Like, and then yeah, I was just like, and that
You
story
got him
just,
on the phone to ask for some Jordans.
yeah, for like that. He didn't even know about it. I was just like, "Yo, this is wild." Like, he actually called somebody and was like, "Yo, I need these shoes. They're olive with orange laces." And I was just like, "All right."
Jeez.
I was able to like, I thought, because I thought he would have known about it,
Right.
especially being that that's like one of the first collaborations that Jordan Brand ever did with like a store like that,
Right.
So you started collecting sneakers because of basketball, and you met the three, well, in my personal opinion, one of the 3 greatest players.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
That's
And,
sick,
and
man.
it's all, like I said, it's all because of sneakers, and I mean, I'm thankful that, and then not only that, but also too, like I've had other opportunities. Like I did when they did I saw Kobe play in his last All-Star game because of sneakers as well, because Jordan Brand reached out to me and wanted me to do a display in Toronto.
Gotcha.
So they had me send like 1 through 30 shoes or whatever, and all like samples. So I shipped all my stuff to them.
Whoa.
And if they went to Toronto, and then in return they're like, "Yo, we'll bring you out here." So they had me out there, like they flew me out there. They had me stay at like
Special
the
guest.
hotel where everybody was staying, and I was.
How old were you at this age? Sorry.
This was when I was probably like 20. What was it? 20? No, in 2016. Was it? Yeah, 2016. I think it was Kobe's last All-Star game, and I think it was the one in Canada. Yeah,
Damn.
I want to say it was 2016. But yeah, no, it was crazy. And then not only that, but then I don't know, but if you guys know, but MJ's birthday is kind of that same weekend as All Star. So they had his birthday party was like at a castle in Canada, right? They ran out this big castle.
You were there.
Yeah, and I showed up, and I'm just
I was
like,
there.
I'm chilling by the entrance, and I'm like, Lil Wayne walks by me, Drake walks by me, says what's up.
Drake.
Yeah, a bunch, like, dude, I'm at the bar, and Kobe was like ordering drinks next to me, and I'm like, damn, like, okay, like, am I even supposed to be in here?
Yeah. Social media wasn't as popping as it is now. Do you have any footage of that?
I do have
okay.
footage. Yeah, I do
Maybe we
have
can probably
footage because
share
they
it.
even.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'll send it to you guys too.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it was crazy. It was crazy just for me to be there, and because like where everything was held is like Toronto was kind of like, it's not that big where like everything was going on. So like you would always like run into people. But like yeah, when I was at the Jordan store, like Russell Westbrook was like just looking at my shoes, like he's like, yo, like this is dope. Like it's crazy. Like
That's
you know,
crazy
just-
how you can get
just
like
looking
those
at the stuff.
athletes. Like,
Yeah.
you can be like, what the?
Yeah, no, exactly. You know, and yeah, and like I said, it's been a great journey. You know, just
That must be so surreal for you, man. Like
Yeah.
being able to meet all those great people, like just based off of you collecting sneakers, you know.
yeah,
And what you're wearing on your feet for that day sparks up conversations with people that you just
it does.
never thought you'd be talking to. You know?
No, it really does. It really does. And yeah, you know, I'm thankful for everybody I've met. You know, because like I said, you know, I've met a lot of people and it's kind of hard to meet people that work at Nike nowadays. To be honest, it's like, because everybody's just, honestly, everybody just after that, like, you know, the first thing what they want to do is they want to ask, like, hey, can I get this? Can I get that? Can I get this? And to be honest with you, to me, I mean, I think from what I've got to feel from them is like they kind of don't like that, because it's more like, are you trying to be my friend? Or are you trying to get
You
something
can't tell
from
if it's
me?
real
You know what
or
I mean?
not.
Yeah, so like,
You're
I
about to
mean,
jeopardize
me,
our friendship with the question you're about to ask me.
Yeah.
You know, like, can I get that shoes you're about to drop, bro? Like,
me, it's like, you know, I've known them for so long where I like, I'll ask, but at the same time, it's almost like, nah, like, I don't want to ask, you know what I mean? Or like sometimes they'll be like, yo, I got this, you want it? Yeah, I want it, thank you.
Why
I'm not going to turn it down. But yeah, you know.
That's really
but it
dope.
takes some time to get to that level, then, man. You know?
Yeah.
And you obviously need some type of weight on your name for you to have some type of connections like that.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
That's it.
But yeah.
but like getting back all into it, because we kind of skipped over. I wanted to ask you it, but like, what is your favorite like style? Like, what is it? Air Force One? What is it? Like Jordan 3, Jordan 4, whatever it is.
Honestly, for me,
Yeah, like your
for me, what's my favorite shoe?
yeah,
Like one of the, like, that's my go-to no matter what.
no matter what.
That's an Air Force One.
That's your thing.
I love
go.
that's my thing. Dude, if you guys don't know, but I have this other company with my buddy that we do the Looksee design cases,
So,
and I have like
Looksee.
I have about 40 of the clear cases in my room, and it's all my like pretty much daily wears, and everything is Air Forces, everything. And then one thing I do a lot is I do a lot of Nike ID Air Forces. I have a bunch of ID Air Forces from like back in the days when they had the elephant print. So it's like I'll be wearing Air Forces with elephant print. Everybody's like, yo, when they do that? Or when did those drop? But
Right.
it was an option they did back in like, I want to say like 2011 maybe or 2010. And I forgot what year it was. But yeah, I have a bunch of those, and it's just, I do a lot of like, I just go on Nike and just mess on Nike ID. Like that's my thing. Like I love Air Forces.
You still do that, like
Yeah, I still do it now.
Dude,
Like I still go. Like I'm sure if I pull up my Nike app, I have in my cart like 3 pairs that are Nike IDs.
that's dope.
So yeah, no, that's my go-to. You can never go wrong with Air Force, especially even the all-white Air Force. You can
That's
never
a
go wrong
go-to.
with a crispy white pair of Air Forces.
Right.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like I like Jordan 1s. I like 3s, 4s. You know, but
That's all
but yeah,
reliable for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
honestly, like Air Force 1 is like my go-to. Like
Gotcha.
that's like where's
Right.
that?
And tell me if I'm wrong, because like they were kind of telling me about it. But did you used to have like a laser machine, and like you guys would laser the Air
Oh
Force
yeah,
Ones?
yeah. So a lot of people don't know, but yeah, we used to. A lot of people don't know this, but yeah, we actually in 2007 we opened up a shop with Soul Collector. It was called Soul Bar. It
There
was
you
in
go. That's what they were talking
Yeah, it
about.
was on Hollywood Boulevard, and you know what? To be honest, like I think the time when we opened it, it wasn't the right time for me or my brother or my partners. It was just because we had just turned 21.
Gotcha.
We were young.
Dude.
And we were young, just turned 21, had our own shop. We had a liquor license. We had liquor, and it was just, it just all went south real quick.
Right.
And yeah, no, but back to the thing, when we opened, it was crazy because the amount of like things that happened when we opened, it was crazy. And everybody's like, I don't think anybody's ever done that in the past, even until now. When we opened our first store, because of the connections that Soul Collector had, like we had a LeBron James shoe done for the store. So the grand opening, we had a LeBron James. It was a Soldier one, but it had the same thing, like the coloring matched the store and whatnot. And then, so it was just, they did that. Then we had K-Swiss did a shoe for us. Puma did a shoe for us. And One did a shoe for us. Reebok all did a shoe for us.
This is all in the same year.
All in the same year. We had hats that matched the store color, everything by New Era. We had, and then I think when we opened, we had the next day we had the And1 bus pull up. All the players were there.
Y'all used all your resources for this one.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. It was crazy. And then even like since we had our own LeBron, the Nike basketball team sent, or the Nike people that were at Nike basketball, they not only did they send us the shoe that they made for us, but they sent us like the LeBron St. Vincent St. Mary 4s, all like every color, Christ the King 4s. We had the graffiti LeBron 4s that came out back then. We had the friends and family version, and then we had the ones that came out. Like we had a bunch of LeBrons that just they sent us like for us to sell. Crazy, but look, and I'll tell you guys a story too that not a lot of people know. But when that happened, Undefeated was kind of upset at the fact that they did all that for us because we weren't a retail store.
And you guys got
and
all
we got
that.
all that. We weren't retail.
Oh, I could see why they got like, bro, what?
Yeah, it was crazy. It like caused a little commotion, but I mean, it all turned out good. We ended up and all the money and all the proceeds that we made from the basketball, Nike basketball stuff, like we had to donate everything.
Gotcha.
So we sold out of the shoes, we sold out of the LeBrons and everything, but all the money we made we donated it all, which is, I mean, at the end of the day, it was cool, because. I mean, they came out for us, so it's like.
I'm sure that was a dope experience for you guys and everyone that was there, like all the customers or whatever it was.
Yeah, and at the time it's crazy because we were just like, it went to show us like how much power, like Undefeated had, or I mean, I don't know what they are now.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much power they have now because there's all these shops, but yeah, back in the days it was like the go-to spot was like Undefeated or I mean, you didn't really have a lot of shops back then.
Right.
So it's just like, or just knowing where you can get stuff. Like for me, like I said, I go to Sloss and Swami, which you had little boutiques that would get stuff and sell it early. And it's crazy because back in the days too, you can go to Sloss and Swami, and you'll find stuff from like vintage stuff. Like you go in there, what was it, like 2003? You can go in there and you can find Shadow 10s from '94 or '95, whatever it was. And you were like, damn. And then once everybody started catching on to like the whole sneaker thing, everyone started hitting the Swami like, yo, what do they have? What do they have? Powder blue 9s, the OG pairs. Like, it was crazy, like stuff that you'd come across. Baby shoes that you'd like from like, what, like 89, 90,
right.
And it's like,
oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
How would you like tell like if they're authentic and everything? Because like me, like let's say I go to a Swami today, I'm like, all right, man, these might be off.
Yeah, but back in the days, like I mean, you had crazy like fake pairs, like I mean that you would kind of know like what. Yeah, it's super easy to tell. Like, but these shops were like, I mean, they would get all the new stuff, and they would like, I mean, you would just kind of have it like.
You've been around sneakers, you could just tell, right?
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't like they were in perfect condition because you'd go in there and like, damn, this shoe's falling apart. Like, I mean, it means they've had it for a long time.
Right.
It's like just nobody bought it. But yeah, like once people started catching on, it was just, I mean, you'd have people just go in there like try to buy all their vintage stuff to just try to sell it, But it was, I mean, I still have a ton of my vintage stuff. It sucks because when I pulled it, I was like powder all over the place,
Yeah.
It's just like just crumbling, like. Yeah, but there's some stuff that you can still wear, like Jordan 1s. Last time I was out here, I think I was wearing an '86 Jordan 1, Chicago. Right now I'm wearing '94s.
Those
it's
look
like they
crispy
still-
too.
and
So we could have not believed
yeah,
that they
for
were
them to
from
be 94s.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, do they look like lost and found to you guys?
I was like, are they 2015s? And I'm like, no.
And,
they're 94.
yeah, they're 94s, and I was just like, I've worn them a couple times, but it's like, I was gonna wear the lost and found, but I was like,
That was
Nah,
cheap.
those
I'll bring
perfect. We're gonna have
these
to
out
zoom
better,
into
I
those.
think they a little bit
A
better.
little close up with that one.
Yeah, but yeah, man, it's just times are just different now,
No, I get it, man. Well, can we go over some of these shoes?
Yeah,
Let's do that,
Which
'cause-
one? Yeah,
I don't know, like, let's.
We went over these.
Yeah, we did that
we
one.
did these, and then
What's
these.
this
Talk
about?
about
What's this
those. Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, that's a
Educate me on this one.
that's a Pit Crew Jordan 3. Pit Crew is like for the Oregon University, for the Ducks. So they did that like every year they do a sneaker for them
boy
pretty
signed
much, and then that's actually signed by Tinker Hatfield. So he's the one that he designed the Jordan 3, and then he. I think that's like probably one of the most iconic Oregon Ducks that they have, because it has the duck feet on the back and whatnot. So when I told him, I was like, hey, I have it brand new. I was like, can you just sign it for me? And he's like, yeah, no biggie. He just signed it. I was like, hey, that's pretty cool, because he actually everything that Jordan does with like Oregon, he's the one that's his biggest thing, because he went to Oregon. So I mean, and that's his thing. Like he just all the new Oregons that they do. I see your dad has that one there, the 8.
Oh yeah.
But it's like, yeah, he's involved in all the stuff that has to do with the Jordan, Oregon stuff. And to this day, I'm thankful that, like, I don't know how I made it on his seating list, but
Oh yes.
every time they make one, hey, what's your address? Oh, cool, thank you.
Oh, that's awesome,
I'm like,
man.
hey, there you go.
Are you
You're a cool
public
dude,
about
man.
like some of the places you're seated by, or are you kind of like, if you get them, you get them?
Yeah, like if I get them, I get them. Like, I mean, I post it on my Instagram. I'll shout them out, like, hey, shout out,
Right.
XYZ or whoever it is,
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, and yeah, it's been like, just every time, I always meet new people, and I mean, they I guess they get a feel that, like, I'm a genuine, sneaker guy, and I like this kind of stuff, so they're like, hey, let me get this in your hands,
Right.
or like they'll try to help me out with whatever they can.
They know you're gonna keep it, collect it.
Yeah,
It's going to
exactly,
good.
wear it, yeah, whatever, yeah, that one that he's holding is actually a P that they made for Luka Doncic.
Oh, to go.
Yeah, Luka Doncic, that's a P that they made for him. It never came out. And it's just, I mean, honestly, like, when I saw it, I was just like, yo, I gotta have that. And I came across it, I bought it, and
Kept it.
I paid, yeah, I bought it, kept it, and it's still with me. I mean, I think it's probably like about a year and a half old, maybe a year and a half. So it's like a near sample.
That's why you don't
Nice,
get rid of
man.
your shoes, man, so you can tell these stories later.
Yeah, no,
Because if
for
it wasn't
sure.
here, you'd probably forget about that. Stuff
Yeah.
somehow.
Another one that's there, it's which is no, the one behind it. Yeah, so that's a Union 1, but that's an unreleased colorway that didn't come out.
I was wondering why it was okay.
Yeah. So that was a process they were trying to, like, from what I was told, is like they're trying to, like, see how it would look with the vintage look. That's why it's like yellowed with yellowing. Everybody says, like, yo, it's molding. Like, no, it's not molding. It's just they were just how do you say? They were just testing out some stuff on it.
That's crazy,
Yeah.
because like in the Lost and Found that recently came out, that's like, I think like the first official shoe that's like the aging look,
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
were
yeah.
trying it on this one, which came out. Damn.
Yeah. And I think that was like from like 2018.
Jeez. That's
Yeah.
dope.
And then last one that I brought, and I was like, it kind of blows my mind that, a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people forget that Jordan brand was a basketball shoe. It wasn't really, I mean, what it is now, like a fashion, like everybody's like,
It's kind of changed
it's
up.
kind
a
of,
little.
yeah. But it's like, and a lot of people don't show love to like the newer stuff, like what you're holding there. That's a Jordan, I think that's a 35, right? Oh, 36. So that's and they made it for Crenshaw Skate Crew, which is like, it's a store up here up in Los Angeles. But yeah, but a lot, and don't get me wrong, I buy a ton of like the newer stuff, like the 36s, the 35s, the 37s. But I love that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't post it, but it's just something that I have about, honestly, probably like about 15 different samples of those. And I don't post it, but it's like, because everybody wants to like that shoe's ugly, that shoe's this, that shoe's that. But guess what? Jason Tatum ain't hooping in Jordan 1s because he's trying to see what's comfort on his foot. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't forget about like the newer stuff and like think that's ugly, but it's really not an ugly shoe. I actually really like them, and it goes back to like just people thinking it should be a fashion shoe. You know what I mean? Jordan Brand's fashion.
It kind of goes back to as well like finances situations with people. Like. Are you gonna spend the money on this shoe? Or are you gonna go spend the money with this shoe?
Yeah, true.
For nowadays, the new generation. That's what I've noticed. Like working on the field. Yeah. Like, there's a bunch of shoes in here that customers really, really want as well, but then they don't really have the bread for it. Yeah. Oh, you guys are about to do that one release on Saturday, right? Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna save my money for that. Yeah. Yeah, but no, I like them, and everything that they put into the shoe. Like, I mean, these basketball players. I mean, they want a lighter shoe. Pick this up to that. You're like, damn, that's a big difference in weight from that to this. So, I mean, the players these days, players nowadays are looking for that comfort, a lighter shoe, or like what they can, you have all these explosive players, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just like, but I honestly, I love all the Jordans, like all the newer stuff too.
Right. I also have another question. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
What's it called? Like a lot of us, like we look forward to the release, like, oh, like this shoe's coming out Saturday or whatever it is, you know, or like, oh, this collab's coming out, because we get pictures like a year early now. They post them like we're already seeing shoes from 24 or whatever it is, it's crazy. Yeah. So, but like even like talking to my dad a couple of times, it's like these shoes off the wall sometimes they become these shoes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, and it's crazy, right?
Yeah. No, they can't. Like, and that's why I said like, like don't think like you have to start with stuff like this. I mean, you can start with a regular release from a Saturday, and 5-10 years, it's like everybody wants it. Yeah. It's gonna be like a a hot shoe that nobody else is gonna probably have or whatever. But yeah, like you gotta start somewhere. You can't. But the new sneakers, it's crazy to me too sometimes that like nowadays for like it's normal to spend $1,000 on shoes for people nowadays. I'm like, that's not not normal. I don't think that's normal.
And you were spending like that much like on a crazy shoe.
Yeah, on a crazy shoe back in the days, but it's like now it's like shoes come out, it's like next thing you know, they're $600, $800, whatever it is. And that's okay, like, and that's why, like, I mean, these resale shops have opened up so many, but it's like, because people go pay that, but it's like, that's not normal to spend $800 on a pair of shoes. That's like,
no,
that's right. But how many did they make? You know what I mean? Yeah. So yes, I mean, definitely, it's for sure shifted.
Cool. We gotta wrap it up.
Yeah, I think that's a good, we'll do like a part 2 or something. If
you're down, I'm always up for it.
Just guests with you or somebody else.
I got a couple of friends of mine that we can always bring by and say some stories or whatnot. Talk about some other stuff as well. Growing up. But yeah, I'm always up for it.
I appreciate that,
your time, man.
Thanks for coming. That was a good first episode in my opinion. So
yeah, no, shout out Private for having me as the first guest.
Of course.